Kayena vacha cittena pamadena maya katang acayang kamame bante buri panya tathagata kayena vacha cittena pamadena maya katang acayang kamame dhamma sanditika akalika kayena vacha cittena pamadena maya katang acayang kamame sangga supatipana anuttara sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Tisarana gamanang paripunang panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Adina dana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Abrahmacharya veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Musawada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Surameraya majjapamadatthana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Vikala bhojana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Nacha Gita Wadita Visukadasana Malakanda Vilepana Dharana Mandana Vibhusanatthana Veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Uchasayana Mahasayana Veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. idang me silang magapala nyanasa pachayo hotu appamadena sampadeta sadhu. we do a we do guided meditation on metta. Yeah? We go back to metta again. We sit here, we let go of all the vipassana objects. Just keep the mind present, calm and peaceful. Being here, right now. Let the body relax. Relax on top of the head. Relax the forehead. Relax the face and the neck. Relax the shoulders and arms, chest area, stomach area. Relax the back, spine. Relax the buttocks and hips, down to the thighs, ankle, down the knees, calves, ankles, soles, toes. So relax the body. Keep the mind present, alert, and peaceful. May I be free. May I be free from all kinds of harm and danger. May I be free from all mental suffering. May I be free from all physical suffering. May I be peaceful. May I be well. And may I truly be happy. May I be free from all kinds of harm and danger. Free from all mental suffering. Free from all physical suffering. May I be peaceful. May I be well. And may I truly be happy. Now let us expand the metta. Let us expand the metta, our loving kindness, reaching out to all the beings around here. Monks, nuns, fellow yogis, to all the Dharma workers, helpers, volunteers, to the sponsors, to the donors, to all garden devas of this center, to all other devas residing in this vicinity. To all the petas, and to all the animals, big or small, seen or unseen. May all of us here be free from all kinds of harm and danger, free from all mental suffering, free from all physical suffering. May I be peaceful. May I be well. May I be May we all be peaceful. May we all be well. May we all truly be happy. May we all be free from all kinds of harm and danger. Free from all mental suffering. Free from all physical suffering. May we all be peaceful, be well, be healthy, and may we all truly be happy. Now let us expand the metta, reaching out to all the beings in this country. May they be humans or non-humans, devas or petas, animals big, small, far or near, seen or unseen. May all of them be free from all kinds of harm and danger. May they all be free from all mental suffering, free from all physical suffering. May they all be peaceful. May they all be well. May they all truly be happy. May all beings be free from all kinds of harm and danger, free from all mental suffering, free from all physical suffering. May they all be peaceful. May they all be well. May all of them truly be happy. Let us expand further. Let us reach out our loving kindness, reaching out to all beings in this world. May they be humans or non-humans, our loved ones near or far away, or those people whom we do not know wherever they are, and to those whom we dislike or those who dislike us. To all the guardian devas of the Buddha Sasana, to all other devas residing in this world, to all the petas, and to all the animals, big, small, far or near, seen or unseen. May all beings in this world be free from all kinds of harm and danger, free from all mental suffering, free from all physical suffering. May all beings in this world able to live in peace and not in war. Live with kindness and compassion and not in cruelty or violence. May all beings be well. May all beings be healthy. And may all beings truly be happy. May all beings in this world be free from all kinds of harm and danger, free from all mental suffering, free from all physical suffering. May they all be peaceful. May they all be well, be healthy, and may all beings in this world truly be happy. Now let us expand as far as the heart can go, without boundary, without bias, without condition, to all beings, without exception. All beings from the highest plane of existence down to the lowest planes, all beings in this universe or other universes, all beings in all the world systems, all beings without exception. May they all be free from all kinds of harm and danger, free from all mental suffering, free from all physical suffering. May they're all able to live in peace with themselves and in peace with others. May all beings be well, and may all beings truly be happy. May all beings be free from all kinds of harm and danger, free from all mental suffering, free from all physical suffering. May all of them be peaceful, be well, be healthy, and may all beings truly be happy. May all beings be well, be peaceful, and may they all truly be happy. And slowly let go of the metta. We bring the mind back again to the body. Feel the body. Feel the rise and fall of the abdomen. Be here right now. Then we can slowly open our eyes. Right. So last week, we were talking about equanimity. Still on equanimity, that we talk about Vipassana jhanas. I put a bit of explanation there. Something like that. I can't remember what I thought. Well, on Saturday, there were some questions about Nibbana. What does Nibbana look like? Of course, I won't still answer you for tonight, but we're going to touch something on Nibbana also, because we've been touching on the progress of insight. I've been touching on the progress of insight, and we've already been looking into the equanimity. And as I said, that the nature of this equanimity, they become much more prominent, especially when we are in the equanimity of formations. Sankara upeka. That means the mind is truly equanimous with all forms of mental or physical processes. So here, when it happens, the mind is not shaken by delight or happiness or excitement. Neither it is being pulled away from any form of like unpleasantness or anger or hatred or aversion or irritation. All these things, it doesn't come in. It doesn't come in. The mind remains in the middle. Everything that delights you in the past, at this stage, especially at the Sankara Upeka, then it doesn't delight you anymore. Because of the nature of the equanimity, it doesn't go into excessiveness, it doesn't go into deficiency. Everything, it brings every mental factors, or other words, it brings the noting mind into its optimum process, optimum noting. And therefore, in that time also, you can able to meditate for a long period of time. That means throughout the whole day. Your mind doesn't need to slow down. All you need to do is just keep going and going and going and going and going. So it's an interesting stage. Yeah. But now we're going to look into a little bit more. That day I talked about it already, that after Sankara Upeka, that is where it's going to go into maturity, and maturity, then Magga and Phala arises. Yeah? Magga and Phala arises. So, Nibbana. So, when the Magga Phala takes the object, yeah, Magga and Phala takes an object, it takes Nibbana as an object. Yeah? It takes Nibbana as an object. So, that time, as I said, we may experience Nibbana slightly differently from one yogi to another yogi. Yeah. The Buddha gave a number of names about Nibbana. Yeah. Let me see what I have here. Okay. In the Samyutta Nikaya, the Buddha already gave 33 names just in one sutta. Smart short sutta. I just give you what it means, what the Buddha used different words for Nibbana. The Buddha used the word taintless, taintless. Because I will teach you the taintless and the path leading to taintless. Listen to that. Yeah. I teach you the truth and the path leading to the truth. The truth which is Nibbana. Yeah. The Buddha used the word far shore compared to the near shore, far shore, the other side. The subtle, the very difficult to see, the unaging, the stable, the undisintegrating, the unmanifest, the unproliferated, the peaceful, the deathless, the sublime, the auspicious, the secure, the destruction of craving, the wonderful, the amazing, the unailing state, nibbana, the unafflicted, dispassion, purity, freedom, the unadhesive, the island, the shelter, the asylum, the refuge. Which one you want to? So the Buddha gave a description. I mean, again here, translation from Pali to English will be a bit different. If you understand Pali, let's say you Mandarin, then when you're going to translate over to Mandarin or whichever language, then also it's going to be a bit different. Uh, so it gives you a sense of a different understanding, a different concept about what is Nibbana. Yeah? So we don't have to remember all of them. We don't have to remember all of them. But we remember this thing is that the Nibbana, which is actually more important, is looking into how the process that which are the path that we have to go in order for us to realize Nibbana. That is a more important aspect for me, yeah. Because the reason is that many times when we are out there, you may have listened to friends are talking about Nibbana, you may listen to some talks about Nibbana, you may have some people describing Nibbana and so on. Yeah. But you do not know that which one is the right Nibbana. They talk about Nibbana and this and that, but they didn't talk about, a lot of them, they didn't talk about how the process of Nibbana take place. Yeah. And it's good that, especially for us, that when we understand a bit of Nibbana, it also um, we know that certain things that some people is going to talk, or they talk about, it may not be agreeable to the understanding, especially in the Theravada understanding. Yeah? Uh, for example, yeah, uh, uh, gradual development and sudden development, sudden nibbana or gradual reaching towards nibbana. Yeah? Sudden nibbana. Sudden nibbana, suddenly, you sit down there and suddenly you get nibbana. That one is again, uh, for nowadays, no lah, no. Uh, it could be sudden, but the thing is that you have done a lot of practice. Then when it's maturity, then it comes, then suddenly perhaps maybe, but that is not sudden. That means you have done a lot of development already. Sudden nibbana, sometimes, for example, like people sit down, and then especially that's connected to vipassana upakilesa. Yeah. In the area of vipassana upakilesa that we talk about also quite a little bit here and there, that when, for example, like when there is joy, or when there's pleasant feelings, and this is completely purified type of pleasant feelings, this type of pleasant feelings, as I said again, you don't experience it in your everyday life. Our everyday life, even we have a pleasant feelings, but it may comes with sensual desire. For example, you eat something nice, pleasant, joy arises, pleasant feeling also is there. Yeah. But this type of pleasant feelings that comes in the meditation, because it is not experienced outside and it's experienced during meditation. And not only during in meditation, but also in a certain well-developed yogi, they experience this thing. But the problem is that they forgot. They forgot to be mindful about them. They turn their mind and then they get so-called like absorbed into them. And they delight into it. And they delight into it for a long period of time. They believe that this is Nibbana. The belief that this is Nibbana, that means it's already come into a wrong view. What is not, you believe it is. Belief is not just as thinking only. This is a belief, this is a kind of a wrong view already. This is not just only cognition or thinking about it. Now you see, the arising of this wrong view, all forms of wrong view arises is because then we start off from sanya, perception. It starts off everything from that sanya. That means, for example, the pleasant feeling come in. When the pleasant comes in, you already delight into it already. That delight, that you take these pleasant feelings as pleasant. You already taken it as pleasant. The back of the mind, the perception of it, it is pleasant. Therefore, the craving arises. The craving gets locked into it. But we really do not know it because all these things are subtle. They're already locked into it. So they are subtle. And when they lock into it, you repeat it again and again without you realizing it, because it's delightful. So the perception is getting stronger and stronger because of that repetition. Yeah. Then with this thing, as you get delight into it because of the perception, then it builds up. It builds up into what we call the cognition part of it. The cognition, that means the chitta part of it already. That means perception is on this one, but chitta is already goes into the cognition, goes into a more stronger degree. That is to say that this time the pride, the mana starts to come in already. They begin to believe that, no, they don't believe, they think. This time is that they think. They think of themselves that they are much more better yogis than others. They are better yogis than others because they have these experiences that is going on in the meditation. So they repeat this idea, this thinking again and again for a period of time. But they haven't come into wrong view yet. It's already thinking about it. The pride, the ego is already coming. They think that this is a wonderful, I have these experiences. Other yogis may not have these experiences. A lot of type of thinking is coming in, but a lot of it behind it is actually the I. The I. The I am is there, strong, and it's getting stronger. The context of the mana slowly becomes stronger. Now, this type of yogi, and as I said, and they repeat these things again and again, it will come to a time that the yogi begins to believe it, that this is Nibbana already. Believe that this is Nibbana. And believe that this is Nibbana. And because there's no other reference in the sense that reference to what, it's delightful. Out there, you don't experience it during meditation. You experience these type of things. So they get believe that this is already nibbana, which is actually a pleasant feeling so near. Yeah. So with that, the wrong view begins to establish in the yogi. The wrong view begins to establish in that yogi. So the wrong view established in that yogi, then it's going to be very difficult for them to undo the whole wrong view. It's not as easy as thinking, because thinking sometimes on the cognition before that, if there are teacher to tell them and so on, perhaps they will change. It's easier to change. But when it comes to the wrong view, it's not that easy anymore. It's not that easy. Because they already believe it is already. That's big problem. And that, honestly speaking, happens in the world of, even in Theravada Buddhism also. No. So the problem is that how are you going to navigate? Because when they believe that this is Nibbana, then what they do next? They'll come out and teach. Then we kind of come out and teach and they spread the gospel to all of you, to express everything to all of you. Then when you listen to it without much of wisdom, you will end up believing these type of things. So you end up believing with these type of things. So that when you believe that, you already form a certain way of how Nibbana is like. And also they will tell you how to come about it also, perhaps. Then you get into a generation of wrong views. And out there, there's a lot of people like that. Sometimes those people that come for dana and so on, even sometimes they come and discussing about the practice and so on with me. But then I tell them that is not, but be song are they all. Who do you think you are? So it's difficult. It's difficult. You can talk about all kinds of concept of nibbana, or how the nibbana coming to it. And that is the one that in vipassana upakilesa one. That is one of the most belief that the formation of wrong view that arises from there. Now, so to in the parallel sense, if you are doing samatha meditation, also the same thing. The samatha meditation also, when it comes into the calmness and pleasantness only, everything, it must be jhana already. So it all depends on what they want to do, what they do, what they do, what meditation they do. Because a lot of us, when it comes to meditation, we want that highest goal, not just middle somewhere here and there, but they want that highest goal. So highest goal in between, as they progress into vipassana or samatha, the mind gets delight into the mental states. And one of it is the pleasantness. So there are many other things again, like joy, even like faith also that comes up, lights that comes up. There's so number of things. So I mention it again and again. Those things, when it comes to you and all of us, when it comes into our meditation, these things, they will, once perhaps they have come to you in the past, it will still come to you in the present or in the future. Perhaps it will going to come again. And what you need to do is just note them as they are. If you just note them, seeing, lights, light, pleasant, joy, then you are seeing it in the right manner. the right perception of it. Because at that time when you see it, you find that this perception, this perce- perception of pleasantness is always in a state of changing. It's in a state of change. So other words, they are viparinama dukkha, they are viparinama change, or they are anicca. Yeah? So they change or they arises and passes away. Then when you see them as in the right manner, then you are in the right track. The, the pleasant feeling is not the problem. The joy is not the problem. The lights is not the problem. The problem is that you delight into it. And when we delight into it, that is where we get caught into it. So you put this thing aside. Sorry. So you note them. You just note them, but don't think about them too much. Yeah? Don't think about them too much. Don't delight into them too much. You will feel delight when it comes in, because it is delightful object. After all, they are delightful object. Yeah? They are delightful objects. They are very pleasant objects. So all you need to do is just note them as they really are. Just note them, seeing. If you see the lights, seeing. If sometimes this type of images, very clear images coming in, like faith objects and so on, and it comes in, you just note them. Yeah. So we not we don't fall into it. So the thing is that as simple as that, as just noting them. Yeah. So if they talk about nibbana, it's just very delightful thing, just very pleasant, very nice. Or they can see images of pagoda, they can see images of devas, or they can see images of the Buddha coming in to talk to them, whatever lah. Then you put a question mark there already, or many question marks there. You hold on to get delight into all this type of understanding, or this type of talks, especially, or what you read. Because even you read or whether you hear with these type of things are quite delightful, it's pleasant, it's so mystical and esoteric, special. Talk about pain here, pain there. This is not esoteric. This is not something special. So be careful out there. It's so easily for yogis to fall into it. I mean, so easily for devotees to fall into it. The moment you finish here, you go back, it's already devotee, no more yogi. Yeah. In yogi, you keep on noting, you don't think about it, then fine. But when you go back, you are not meditating, you be start reflecting, you be start thinking all kinds of dhammas, and everything will be start coming in. Yeah. Everybody can interpret the word nibbana differently, as they like. The Indians, the Hindus, they have their own term for nibbana also, nirvana also, in Sanskrit. So they got their own terms. What is nibbana too? So every one of us have a different understanding of what nibbana is. Then again, there are people talk about nibbana. When they reach, how they arrive at so-called nibbana, is again that I've read now. Yogis are just meditating first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana, fifth jhana, sixth jhana, seventh jhana, eighth jhana. Come out, eighth jhana, then nibbana liao. That's about it. It's still in the books. Come out as a, sometimes they describe it as like 1,000 petals of lotus open. That is not nibbana. That is a delightful mental state, but not nibbana. Nibbana is not like that. Because the process itself, the process of reaching towards the realization, It's not there. It's not there at all. Uh, Jhana, samatha jhana doesn't reach nibbana. Samatha jhana will reach Brahma planes of existence. Yeah? Brahma planes of existence, still in samsara. Okay, we put this thing aside. Yeah. So because that again here, there's different types of nibbana, how we discuss into it. Now there's another what the Buddha also mentioned. There's two elements of nibbana. You see, that day we talk about nibbana dhatu. When Magga and Pala takes nibbana as an object, then we use the word like nibbana dhatu. Yeah. Now, in a sense that there are two kinds of nibbana. The one is called sa upadisesa nibbana and anupadisesa nibbana. Sa upadisesa nibbana. Nibbana with formation still remaining. That means for nibbana with still mind and body processes remaining. That is to say, here belongs to those enlightened ones who are still alive. Okay, who are still alive. Other words, they can experience nibbana. They can experience nibbana while they are still alive. But then the body and mind still there. In the sense that they after coming out of nibbana, they still go through sickness, they still go aging, you know, uh, they still go change in the body. All kinds of things are just like everyone have to go through. Every human have to go through. Yeah. So the formations remaining, that means the five aggregates still remaining there. Yeah. B, second one, anupadisesa nibbana. Nibbana without formations remaining. Yeah. Yeah. This one is only for the arahants and including the Buddha also. Yeah. Because Buddha also arahant also. Yeah. Here is what we call after their final death, the parinibbana, yeah, the final death. English word we don't have the word for final death. I mean, for the in the Pali they have chuti. Chuti means death. Chuti holiday. Holiday from this one you will reborn again the next life, you know. But uh, the Pali word for final death is parinibbana. So parinibbana here, when arahants or the Buddha have that final death, that means all the conditions for arising is no more there. All the conditions for arising, that means there's no arising for the next rebirth consciousness. So everything goes into the whole mind and goes into cessation already. Yeah? Extinction. It goes to total extinction. The for us to take over to go through next life, yeah, then our defilements are the culprit, are the defilements are the one that produce all this arising and passing away. Yeah? Produce the mind, produce the body, and so on. Whether you are in a happy planes of existence or you are in the lower planes of existence, highest planes of existence, again, all these things that's arising and passing away. That means you are still in samsara. But when it comes to for the arahants, when they have their final death, everything stops. That means everything like like a fire, like matches. When you blow the fire away, so where the fire go? It's not the right question actually. The fire does not go anywhere. It's just there's no condition for it to arise anymore. So it's hard to see, but it's easier for us to understand by our everyday concept. Yeah. So nibbana comes to an nibbana. This is the final end for them. Yeah. But the problem is that this again it arises another problem within the scope of Buddhism also. Whereas there are people believe that the Buddha, Arahants, still able to reborn somewhere, some Buddha land, some realm of existence, some special realm of existence. To them, is that the Buddha does not really cease. These Arahants do not really cease. They believe that they are still there. That's again within the context of Buddhism. They have this idea is still there. So that means the idea is still there. That means the idea of a permanency is still there. And the idea of permanency is a wrong view. Yeah, it's a kind of a wrong view. Yeah. So again here, when the Buddha have going through their final death or Arahant final death, it's just like the fire. There's no condition for the mind to arise anymore. So the mind doesn't arises, body does not arises. So extinct. It's hard for us sometimes to comprehend extinction. Yeah. After all, meditate, nothing there. You know, it's hard to comprehend. It's hard to comprehend that everything goes into extinction. This is what a lot of times the Buddha gave the example of how the Nibbana look like. Extinction, cessation, because there's no arising, passing away. There's no materiality, there's no mentality there. Uh, So, so here it's again concept now, we on concept. Let's forget about the what the Buddha or the Arahant's type of Nibbana. What is more important is that when you're alive, try to realize it as best as you can. That is the most important thing. Final death, they know how to count him one. But when you are still alive, that one is more important for us to make sure that we this one. Now, we realize them. Now, when it comes to this, again, we come back to this Sankara Upeka. Now, once Sankara Upeka goes into maturity, but not yet enlightenment, then what happened over there is that according to the text, according to Mahasi Sayadaw's book, it mentioned that all this formation of the mind and body, the arising and passing away, then it will start to pick up speed. And you start to pick up speed. But sometimes it pick up speed if the quality of the mind is still not strong enough, then it may slow down again to Sankara Upeka. As if like the aeroplane want to fly, but cannot fly, cannot get off the ground. It's still running, I want to fly, right? you know, something like that, something like that. You just want to fly, but it cannot get off. So here, if there's, let's say, the faculties and everything and all the wholesome deeds that they have done, all the karma, dana that they have done, all the sila you have kept, all the gratitude, all the kindness, all the compassion, all the metta, all everything, sharing of merits, everything, all their wholesomeness is all accumulated. Then it gets strong, and the faculties of your mind becomes mature. Then here it's where the process of the arising and passing away, it gets much more faster. Much more faster. It can mean that perhaps within a second, perhaps you already know 5 objects pass through, Within a second. Within a second, how many objects you're not noticing right now? Rising, falling also haven't finished yet. Maybe the rising haven't finished yet. Oh, then reach rising. By that time, perhaps within a second, 5 phenomena has already passed. And imagine that within a short while, the yogis experience so many objects at that time. Everything is going to arising and passing away. So, in other words, it pick up speed. Now, here when it pick up speed now, this is where it gets important. And how you get out of this into realization of Nibbana. This is what we call a triple gateway of liberation. A triple gateway of liberation. Vimokkha mukha. Vimokkha is liberation. Mukha is gateway of face, like the Malay, mukha. Triple gateway of liberation. How a person pass through it in order to achieve that liberation or realize nibbana. So when the yogi picks up the momentum at that point, at that time, depending on the inclination of the yogi, okay, inclination here means that whether you are more inclined to faith, saddha, or you are more inclined to concentration, samadhi, or you are more inclined to wisdom, panya. So while that thing is getting faster, how you experience these things is that how you experience it can be different from yogi to another, but it all falls in the same principle of whether this is you see it as anicca, dukkha, or anatta. Okay, the one that it's to do with faith, those people who incline on faith and they're strong in faith. Strong in faith, that means that doesn't mean that their mind is in balance, the mind is totally balanced, but in their everyday life, in their state of mind, in the way of how they go about the perhaps on Buddhism and life and so on, their inclination is on saddha. So the inclination on saddha, then when they see these things that is going very fast, they see it as impermanent. They see it as anicca. Okay? They see it as anicca. They see this arising and passing away as anicca. Right? Okay. Now, for those people who are inclined towards samadhi, inclined towards concentration, then what they see in this arising and passing away, they see it as dukkha, as like a sankhara dukkha. That this is totally like repulsive, this arising and passing away is repulsive. And not to say that the mind is totally imbalanced, the mind is totally balanced, but the nature that is the perception of that arising and passing away is impacted on the yogi. It's like this one. It's not pleasant. It is not pleasant. Yeah. So this time, that type of yogi that is more towards concentration, they see it as dukkha, the perception of dukkha. Yeah? Yeah. Then the third one. The third one is called those who have the wisdom strong in them. The inclination of wisdom is strong in them. Then when they look at the arising and passing away at that moment of time, they see them as not mine. That this arising and passing away is not mine. And this arising and passing away is not myself, It's just arising and passing away at this moment of time, as if like the observer and the object is being disconnected and they just observe it as just not mine, yeah? not I. Yeah? So you just observe it as just, perhaps some people observe it as just condition. Everything is just condition arising and passing away in that manner. So that manner, those who are more inclined to wisdom, their wisdom power, so they see it as anatta. Okay, they see it as anatta. So you have anicca, dukkha, anatta. So those with anicca, seeing anicca, that means their inclination towards it, it's faith. Those with concentration, then those who with will see dukkha more clearly, and those with wisdom power, then they see the anatta more clearly. Okay, non-self more clearly. Now, because of that, then when they realize nibbana, they perceive the nibbana also slightly differently, because it based upon how they perceive when it's getting faster at that moment of time. So because of this is anicca, they see this formation of mind and bodily formations that they arises and passes away. So when they goes into cessation, when they goes into liberation or realization of nibbana, then while they are realizing nibbana right now, yeah, then they look back into how they come into realization of nibbana. So the process, what happens is that you see a opposite of each other, an opposite, That means here, the before that is all the process of nama rupa in the state of arising and passing away. Here, when it comes into cessation, he does not see this impermanent. He doesn't see this. Sorry, he doesn't see this arising and passing away. He doesn't see this nama, and he doesn't see this rupa that is connected to it. So, the liberation is called the signless liberation. Nimitta. You know the word nimitta? Nimitta, we use the word sign. Or in the English word, in the Pali word, you use the word nimitta. But the word nimitta here is not conceptual object like your in-breath, out-breath type of object. That is not the way how we use the nimitta for this one. The word nimitta here, it signifies the nama and rupa process. That means animitta means without nimitta, without mind and body processes. So it's called the signless liberation because of how they context it, liberation and before liberation. So because they are quite near, the yogi can remember. So when they look at it, the whole process is not there. The whole mental and physical process is not there. So they look at it as signless liberation. That is how the text term it. Yeah? Now, those who are strong in their concentration, yeah? Those who are strong in their concentration, signless. Those who are strong in their concentration, then they will see that. Wait now, hold on now. Let me see. I get the name right. When they see that the process of arising and passing away before nibbana, they see that something as dukkha. Yeah? They see all this arising and passing away as dukkha. Yeah? And then this dukkha, they know that it's all connected because of What is the second noble truth? Uh, Craving lah. And craving give rise to all this dukkha. You know? So when they don't see the craving, they see the dukkha and all that thing. I mean, of course, previously they know that this all craving, but of course, when they watching it arising and passing away, the craving is not there. All right, the craving is free from that craving, but they all still see the arising and passing away there, and they perceive it as dukkha. So when it comes into liberation, now when it comes into liberation, it is called the desireless liberation. Because at that time, they see it as liberation, as peace, peace from all the dukkha, a desireless liberation, peace from all the craving, that the craving cannot touch upon it. So they see it as desireless liberation. They call it apa nihita liberation, vimokkha. Yeah. Okay. So they see it as a desireless liberation. Yeah. Now, the third one for those who are inclined in wisdom, and then they see this arising and passing away as anatta. Yeah? They see this anatta. There's not I. It's only process only. They see all these things as process only. So when they see this in this way, they see these processes in this way, when it comes to liberation, when it comes into realization of nibbana, they see it as void. Void liberation. Void means the Pali word is sunyata. Void liberation. Void because of what? Because there's nothing there. There's no arising, there's no passing away. There's no I, there's no you, there's no me, there's there's nothing. Because of arising and passing away, processes, no processes, nothing at all. Liberated. Yeah. Void liberation. Yeah. So which one do you like? Tell me. Yeah. You cannot choose one, It's because it's inclination, your inclination. You cannot choose one. And it is said now by some teachers, it is said that the signless liberation is most yogi will see it. Because most people is inclined in faith. Just look into our Buddhist world and see lah. Those people inclined in faith, strong in faith, and so on. Let's say they practice and liberation comes in, then signless liberation they will see. Yeah. So most people with that. Those with desireless liberation, and then those with connected with concentration, then those are lesser, even less. Yeah. Their concentration is good. They're wonderful. Their concentration is marvelous. But compared to faith on them, very much less already. Most of the bulk, maybe a lot of them, maybe 80% of faith connected. Concentration is getting less. How about wisdom then? Wisdom and even lagi sikit. So, other words, people with an incline in wisdom is so much less compared to in the world of Buddhist. Let's talk about in the Buddhist world will do. We don't have to worry about the world out there and so on. The one with wisdom is very less. So the other words, they see it as void, see it as a process, very, very much less. But that is the nature. That is the nature. You cannot run away from your inclination. You cannot run from it. As I said, it does not matter. It's just a matter because how you perceive it. And different yogis, you will perceive it differently. slightly differently, depending on how you see it as anicca, dukkha, or anatta. uh, how we pay attention to these three, and then when it comes into liberation, and then it takes notice on this type of things. Yeah. Uh, now, in the signless liberation, well, in the signless liberation, you see all phenomena, mental bodily processes, all these mind body processes, and also when you see people, when you hear things, when you taste, when you everything that goes through your senses, and how you think also, yeah, and how you think and so on. A lot of, I mean, we we go through samsara. We go through samsara because we see uh, the sign of conditioned phenomena. We see that sign, and this is what we call the wrong type of sign. The wrong type of marking. Uh, how do we see this thing wrongly? Take for example, no, not example yet. Let me give you all the three first. We see things as permanence, permanent, the, the sign of permanent, Nicha Nimitta. We see the sign of permanence. We see the second one is we see the sign of stability, stability. And the third one is the sign of eternity. Yeah. Sasata nimitta, dura nimitta. Yeah. Duvan nimitta, dura nimitta. The sign of permanence, stability, and eternity. This is how, from that, it builds up into all kinds of wrong view. All kinds of wrong view. You see, the sign of permanence. The sign of permanence here, what it means here is that when we are, when we are not developed in, especially in insight, because insight, it goes against these three, it's totally the opposite. Because insight, vipassana, it lets you see things as they really are. Is you let you see the truth. It lets you see the process of this mind and bodily process, which is totally impermanence. But the thing is that when we are not able to see the truth, all of us will hold on to the perception of permanency. And we hold on to that. That's why it's so easy for us, if we don't have understanding of Buddhism, it's so easy for us to hold on to an idea of something is permanent or everlasting or eternity. A God, permanent creator, permanent consciousness, a permanent consciousness, a permanent soul, a permanent realm of existence. That means you die here, you exist there permanently. Happiness permanently, or suffer permanently there. Yeah. Or, or the happily ever after one, after the get married and so on, that one again. This is all no permanency, no stability one, in the world. But we love the idea, ma. Yeah. You read the Disney princess and all that, marry a prince already, then happily ever after. But that happily ever after, that idea is so good for us. It's pleasant for us. Stability also is pleasant for us. For example, you have a stable job. You have a stable job, and the stability, you feel comfortable with it. If your job is all like here and there, tomorrow have, next day don't have, next week don't know whether you have or not, then the time you are very difficult, a lot of dukkha there, mental dukkha. But when the stability is there, you like it because it's there. Other words, actually behind it, you're just attached to it, you know. Yeah? Uh, or the stability of this body and mind. We thought that this stability of body and mind, although we talk about impermanence a lot, again and again, but sometimes when you are out there, if you don't reflect on impermanence that much, sometimes you forget about that this body will go through aging. Yeah. As I said, the first 30, even I become a monk already. When we talk about dukkha here, dukkha there, when you are 30 or 40, what dukkha? Gong niya ma. Tamatok only. But you don't really feel it. And then when it comes to aging and so on, then you get older, there's a bit different already. Then you can see it for your own self already. Yeah. Uh, so the thing is that before that, the idea of stability is very strong in us. If you're a deva, let's say right now, you die and then you reborn there. For a long, long period of time, you don't go aging so drastically like what human go through. You reborn, you're already a deva already. You don't have to go like baby time and then suddenly, no, that one is immediate there. You got all the shine and glory already. Yeah. And happiness or maybe mention and all that thing all there already. If you do a lot of good deeds, you know. Yeah. So to them, stability, long period of time, and you play and play, the pleasantness is always going to be there. Let's say you just fall from deva to human world let's say you fall from after you go through a many lifetime there, and then you fall over here. Your idea, your thoughts also is on stability, that you feel that the body is good. Maybe I was deva also, we do not know. you know. But the idea is that you think that life goes soon soon. No. You have all your wealth is there, you have everything is there, everything you go through, life goes soon soon. No. But dukkha to them, stability. So the stability to them, it's a very, I mean, they don't realize it that the attachment is there. They don't know the craving is there. But all these things are in a sense that it 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 impacts, or the what we call the perception of permanency, the perception of permanent or stability. It's all on the top of it now. And it's so hard for us to undo this thing because of our condition from the samsara, from life after life. Uh, we find that there's a stability there. So nice, so good. Uh. Then, then the sign of eternity. The sign of eternity that I've talked about it is that when you perceive that when you go through life after life, even this type of eternity, then the Buddha gave the example, if that for some meditator, during the Buddha gave example, that this meditator develop all kinds of jhana and they can see their past life. They can look into their past life. When they look into their past life, these people see that they met with Brahma, certain Maha-Brahma. And that Maha-Brahma is that while they arises in that Brahma plane, that Maha-Brahma is already there already. Then that Maha-Brahma for stay for a long period of time, for a long, long period of time. I mean, this is unimaginably long now. This is not like what we can calculate within our idea. So the Maha-Brahma stay for so long, and then the person saw this Maha-Brahma, or the being saw this Maha-Brahma. So he passed away from that realm of existence. he comes to he comes into the human realm. And the human realm, he develops jhana. He look back into his past life. Hey, this Mahabrahma, still there. Now, before I arises there, it's already there. Now I pass away from there, still there. So what idea of the sign of eternity arises? The sign of eternity arises. It's so strong. And yet these people comes with all kinds of powerful concentration. And yet the sign of eternity is so strong in them. So it doesn't mean that with concentration, you have powerful concentration, you're free from all this permanent stability and eternity. It's so strong into us. So therefore, we need to reflect on impermanence, like we follow the teachings of the Buddha. Reflect on aging, we reflect on sickness, we reflect on death, we reflect on birth, we reflect on these type of things. So when we reflect on it, slowly, it chip off. It chip off the idea of permanency, step off the stability, eternity, slowly chip off. But it cannot get you out of samsara yet. So in order for us to get out of samsara, we need to come into vipassana. And we need to come into vipassana and to see the process of this mind and body process, that all of them goes through impermanence, dukkha, and anatta, in order to change all our wrong perception that we carry from our past lives, from life after life. And for us to meet with vipassana, it's a very rare occasion. It's a very rare time in the samsara. Yeah. The Buddha talk, I mean, the Buddha arises for, the Gautama Buddha arises for 45 years only, But how long is samsara? How long is samsara? Samsara is so long. That means in such a vast ocean, maybe a little speck of it only, the time of the Buddha is there. And yet, for example, for us to have the Dharma is still around, maybe it's just spread a little bit only, spread a little bit, maybe a slightly bigger only. And when we so happen to fall into this Dhamma, then with this Dhamma, then with this Vipassana, we can able to see the change in the perception, because that perception, we cannot see the wrong perception, we cannot see it. So we don't train hard, we don't pay attention to it, we don't try again and again. The sign of permanence, the sign of stability, the sign of eternity, pleasantness, and so on will still be ingrained into all of us. The moment that you leave this retreat, if you're still not enlightened yet, then you still go back to that type of thought. Maybe less, but still there. All right. So try hard. So we stop here for tonight and we'll continue tomorrow. All right. Okay, we share merits. Idang me bawanang nibbanasa pachayo hotu. May my mental cultivation be a condition for the realization of nibbana. Imang no punya bagang sabba satanang dema. We share these merits with our departed ones, with all beings and all the devas. Sape satta sukhi hontu anumodantu. May all beings be happy. May they rejoice in these merits. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.